This Sunday, on episode 32 of Ion Dependency, reality radio at its best.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program to bring you this very important lesson about trust and betrayal. Encouraged to take an all-expenses-paid trip to England by a family member, this mother and daughter were more than happy to accept. But the happiness quickly turned into a nightmare they will both never forget.
So we were walking out there chatting, just talking and then all I heard my mother behind me saying, drugs? What drugs?
Wait, what?
No, I said, oh my God, don't turn your face from me, Lord. Don't turn your face from me because you know I didn't do anything, Lord.
As we bring the curtain down on World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, you will learn that even your own family can be a trafficker. Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the On Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. The Counter-Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security, brings you On Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday, on episode 32 of Ion Dependency, reality radio at its best.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program to bring you this very important lesson about trust and betrayal. Encouraged to take an all-expenses-paid trip to England by a family member, this mother and daughter were more than happy to accept. But the happiness quickly turned into a nightmare they will both never forget.
So we were walking out there chatting, just talking and then all I heard my mother behind me saying, drugs? What drugs?
Wait, what?
No, I said, oh my God, don't turn your face from me, Lord. Don't turn your face from me because you know I didn't do anything, Lord.
As we bring the curtain down on World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, you will learn that even your own family can be a trafficker. Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the On Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. The Counter-Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security, brings you On Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
This Sunday, on episode 32 of Ion Dependency, reality radio at its best.
We interrupt our regularly scheduled program to bring you this very important lesson about trust and betrayal. Encouraged to take an all-expenses-paid trip to England by a family member, this mother and daughter were more than happy to accept. But the happiness quickly turned into a nightmare they will both never forget.
So we were walking out there chatting, just talking and then all I heard my mother behind me saying, drugs? What drugs?
Wait, what?
No, I said, oh my God, don't turn your face from me, Lord. Don't turn your face from me because you know I didn't do anything, Lord.
As we bring the curtain down on World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, you will learn that even your own family can be a trafficker. Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the On Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. The Counter-Trafficking Unit, Ministry of National Security, brings you On Dependency. We don't just share stories, we change lives.
Hundreds of women.
Trinidad and Tobago, and good morning to you listening to us this morning on I-95.5 FM and on our live streams on Facebook and YouTube. Don't forget to drop a like, a comment, a share.
Hundreds of women and men are caught every year. trying
We
to smuggle
apologize
drugs
for
into the United
technical
Kingdom,
difficulties there, but
whether in their bodies
you
or in
know,
their
that's why
luggage.
we requested
Chances
you
of escaping detection
that devil
are
down
slim.
in the hole.
We share an interview with Deborah,
He
a young
seems to
woman
be
in her
very
late
busy.
30s, and her mother
Very,
Joan
very
in her
busy.
70s,
But
who were used as
all is
drug mules
great.
by a close relative.
And we are here
Thinking
once
they were
again
going
with
to
another
reconnect with family in England,
story
Deborah
for you.
and Joan instead spent 5 months
And
at HMP
at the same
Brownsfield
time,
awaiting a trial for attempting to
education.
import cocaine into the UK.
this is once again your
HMP
opportunity
Brownsfield
to
is a
understand the act,
privately run
the
correctional
means, and the
facility for
purpose
women,
of human trafficking.
located in the South London
By
city of
mandated
South.
by the Counter Trafficking
It
Unit of
also
Trinidad and
accommodates
Tobago.
juvenile offenders.
The job is
persons
to
on
get
remand,
you to
and
understand
pregnant
that
women.
it can happen in plain sight.
Despite
and
their
right under the
innocence
nose.
in the
Stories you're
importation
gonna
charge.
Here today are one of on the same but under different circumstances. Because remember, we did a young lady recently, and for those of you who remember Raquel, let us jog your memory a bit. Just listen to this, and then we'll come back to the substantive. But again, it's vacation time, and this is when people are most vulnerable, if no at no other time. So, you wanted
to play Raquel?
Yes.
Raquel's a clip from Raquel's interview. Raquel was one of the young women that we interviewed on our mission to the UK. So audio E Shortman. Let's listen to what Raquel had to say, and we will then start our other story with Deborah and Joan.
And of course, we will speak with Raquel after that, because
Yes.
she's back home. You know, she has been for a while, and just to introduce her to you, and just to put on our list of citizens who have to climb up again after falling. It's not an easy climb. People of Trinidad and Tobago, and those of you listening to us on social media, I beg of you, pay attention. Be careful. Speak with your children. There's a soul-capturing entity that's roaming this earth, and it's right here in Trinidad and Tobago. Please, pay attention. Go ahead, Shortman.
The positives I learned from this is patience. Patience. Dealing with people of all kind, all forms and fashions, and not being able to retaliate. Because you know, if you're home, you beat them down. Can't beat down nobody here. You have to humble yourself. So I learned how to be humble. I learned how to budget. I get a diploma in beauty therapy. I want to open my own business when I go home now.
But you weren't getting work before when you were home, and you weren't getting support. How you plan to open your own business when you go back now?
Well, the government giving us something from here to go back home to start a business. So that money put together with a business plan and the credit union and all these things that I have home. I know it's not going. Rome wasn't built in a day, so I know it won't happen in a day. I'm taking that money and doing something for me. I'm gonna be my own boss now with the diploma that I get here and the money that they help me with here. So present, that's the positive. The negative is being away from my family and just being locked up. Just the fact that your freedom taken away from you and you're having to wait a whole week to hear from your family because you have to have phone credit on your phone and all that. That independence, because I'm a very independent person. If I need something, I'll get it. And that we have to go and wait for the office to do something for you. Can't even go on the computer and check something for yourself. That could trip off somebody who is accustomed to being independent. Because they can't just go and do it.
Would you ever try this again?
Never, ever. I wouldn't need to. I know the boss now. So I wouldn't need to. This was a shot in the dark and I get shot instead.
Would you have any advice for other young women who were in your position before when you left Trinidad?
All I could say is the money is what is so nice. Everything else, it's nice. Here, real cold, don't come. Cold. Freezing cold. Talking about all the time cold. Don't come. Go on a different road. Do something else. Go CTC. until they have no more cause to do CCC. Do something else. Take your time, baby steps. Don't rush it. It's worth it. Seriously, it's worth it. I miss everything from my daughter. I miss her first words, her first steps, her first everything. It's nice. The time that I spend in here, the 20 months I spend in here, I sure I could have made 40 grand if I was home. At the end of the day, if I had really put my mind to it, I could have made that 40 grand home.
That was Raquel, who you will hear from live via phone later on today in the show. But it's a lesson that she has had to learn the hard way, and it's a little different than the story we are about to tell now with Deborah and Joan.
Picture this, if you will. You have a close, what you discover to be a close relative, and they offer to take you and your daughter on a nice little trip to meet the rest of the family that you have not seen in decades. And you all for it, but not understanding that you're about to be tricked and trapped. Let's go to a break, give you a chance to settle down, and when we return, you're going to hear the first part of this mother and daughter, who that happened to. Thank God they are safe and sound in the arms of their family once again. And I'm sure they continue to tell this story. For those of you who have not heard it, you'll hear it today. As a warning to you once again. Let's go to a break. We'll be back.
Some of us like to play games of chance. But remember, gaming should be fun. So don't get carried away. Play for a prize, but don't pay the price. Play for fun, but never for keeps. Play smart, but never play all. Winning isn't everything. If you or someone you know needs help, call our gambling addiction hotlines. Rebirth House 623-0952 or After Hours 466-3146 or Serenity Place Empowerment Center for Women 794-7980. An initiative of NLCB and Eye on Dependency.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. We know that you would have heard this. Fed up at the boom, fed up at the bang, fed up at the warring, fed up at the gangs. Now we are calling on talented youth under the age of 24 to answer the call. We will provide you with the instrumental. All you have to do is fill it with your own lyrics.
Yo, my name is Willie Ben, and me come for deal with all them geezer and pull them out like hair on a tweezer.
Well, not like that, but your own conscious lyrics.
Answer the call and you can win a professional music video and audio recording. Thousands of dollars in prizes. Make your team of 5. Grab your smartphone and 4 of your friends. Download the beat from the link on the Call to Order TT and Ministry of National Security Instagram pages and create your call video with your own lyrics. Post it to Instagram with the hashtags Call to Order Project or 1MNS and look out for the results.
This is the Call to Order Project, powered by the Ministry of National Security.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I-95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. So now we're going to jump right into the story of Deborah and Joan, a cautionary tale and really a heart-wrenching story. When you hear how this affected them in the moment and afterwards, but listen closely to some of the red flags that these two women missed.
If you're about to take a trip anytime soon and somebody wants to give you something to carry for them somewhere, please, no matter who it is, does not matter. Think twice or even 3 or 4 times. All right? So let's hear the first part of this, how it all began for them, and let's start the journey.
Hundreds of women and men are caught every year trying to smuggle drugs into the United Kingdom, whether in their bodies or in their luggage. The chances of escaping detection are slim.
We share an interview with Deborah, a young woman in her late 30s, and her mother Joan in her 70s, who were used as drug mules by a close relative. Thinking they were going to reconnect with family in England, Deborah and Joan instead spent 5 months at HMP Bronzefield awaiting a trial for attempting to import cocaine into the UK.
HMP Bronzefield is a privately run correctional facility for women located in the South London city of Sutton. It also accommodates juvenile offenders, persons on remand, and pregnant women. Despite their innocence in the importation charge, Deborah and Joan were high in praise of the facility, which has many opportunities for prisoners to change and improve their lives.
How did these women fall into the trap? They were introduced to a nephew who lived most of his life in England and had met him previously 3 times in person. The plan was for Deborah and her mother Joan to travel to England for a week to meet their nephew's family and other relatives. In the weeks leading up to the trip, Joan said they kept in touch via the internet, getting to know her nephew's wife in the process.
The thing is, we used to correspond via social media on Facebook and on Skype. Most of the times I would speak to his wife on Skype. Most of the time I would speak to her. And there was a day when I was on Facebook, I think he came up and he was asking us about coming to England. And he said, well, he would buy the tickets and it would be cheaper for him around that time. You know, he would get a good deal and so. And he would accompany us. He came down the Sunday and we left Trinidad on the Wednesday, right? It was the Wednesday.
Neither Joan nor Deborah thought anything strange about their tickets being purchased by the nephew, as he appeared to be involved in a well-paying business. No alarm bells sounded either when he said he was overweight and asked them to take a package of goodies in their luggage.
He said, well, it would be best if we travel on the 5th to come to England for 1 week to visit the family and so. So we said, well, okay, you know, first time Mom will be seeing her other great grand and so, and we would get familiar with him and the rest of the family and so. And he organized the trip. He said that he would pay for it and all of that. So, well, we know him too to be involved in importing cars from the UK into Trinidad. That's the business he said he was doing, right? So it was not, you know, strange to say, well, he purchasing the ticket for us, you know, to come for us to see the family and so. So we organized the trip and he came and he picked us up the day to take us to the airport. Mom and I, we used one suitcase, and on one occasion, when he was calling to find out, all right, what time he would pick us up and so, you know, he mentioned that he was overweight, and he had a bag with some sweet bread and preservatives and so to take back. So, somewhere along the line too, on the way to the airport, to say, well, we were supposed to go to his hotel first. So on the way to the hotel, he mentioned it again. So it was not strange when we got to the to his airport that he brought out the bag and said, well, all right, this is the sweet bread and
To his hotel?
yeah.
The journey to the airport was not a straight one, with stops at an aunt's house, a grocery, and the nephew's hotel, where he was to change and allow his friend, who was driving, to take the women to the airport. It was at the hotel that the cocaine was concealed in the suitcase Deborah and Joan shared.
When we got to the hotel, his friend and my nephew, he went up in the hotel, and then he came back. My nephew came back home with the bag in his hand, right? And he told me, he said, "This is sweet bread." I said, "Well, yeah, because we had discussed about it already. He told us he was overweight and all of that, and he had roti and snacks and everything to carry back. Well, it's around Christmas time, expected. So I say, well, is the family carrying it for? Is there we going? It's no big thing to put it in our suitcase." So I tell him, well, yeah. So he went around in the back and he opened the suitcase and he put it in. The thing is, I did not suspect it being anything along the lines of drugs. I am not, and we're not looking for that. That is not what I was expecting. I am a person, if I have to go, say I taken a flight to go somewhere, I like to be on time, I like to be there. I am the person who will go only 3 hours before sundown. But this kind of a, rush thing.
Deborah and Joan were traveling to Tobago and then onward to London Gatwick. They arrived in Tobago before their nephew, but while checking in, they made the costly error of not checking the bag the nephew had placed in their luggage.
When we got to the airport now, he told us, well, you'll go ahead and take the flight to Tobago. He have to carry back the car. Right? He know carry back the renter. So, he would not be
on the same flight with us.
Well, I guess, remember, he have to get his car.
He have to get back money.
Get back the money, the deposit and so on the thing.
Okay.
It looked like he made his arrangement. He knew what he was doing.
He knew what he was doing. He knew what he was doing.
We were to go and meet up with some lady, a girl at the airport, who normally would do the check-in at the counter for the UK now, to go and speak to her. She checked us in, and at that point in time, as I said, the suitcase wasn't locked. I took off my leggings, took off my jeans, took off clothes to change to put on, and I just unzipped the top part. The way how I packed the suitcase, everything that I needed was just to the top. So I just pulled out whatever I needed on top, and took out a newspaper I had in the pocket, in the zipper part. I had a pair of socks there and the newspaper. So I just took out the newspaper to read, and we zip it up, and mommy gave me the lock, and we locked it, and we checked it in.
Okay. You saw the bag that he would have put in there?
No.
You didn't see it?
No. I was looking for the bag for.
We are looking for the bag? Not at all.
I mean, it may sound strange to you, but
not at all.
I don't know how to explain it, but the thing is,
looking for something?
It's sweet. Well, it's sweet bread he put in there, right? So I'm not looking for the bag again.
Even the 8-hour flight to Gatwick revealed a few signs of something amiss, as the nephew makes himself known by being jovial and chatty with the passengers.
We boarded the plane, and the same girl who he told us to meet in Tobago, she came on the flight. And, she was talking to him and telling him, hey, they're looking at you. I listened to the conversation, and, I hear him say, well, I don't have nothing to hide. I don't have anything to hide. After she came off the plane and so on, then the flight took off and we think. There was also another girl from Tobago, living in England. She was on the flight, and there was a time he was talking with her, and there was a time apparently she was getting a bit fearful of flying because the flight was a bit rough and all of that. And he was there talking with her and all of that. She ended up being one of the witnesses in the trial. Before we land, he asked me if I have paper or whatever. I said, yeah, I have a post-it and thing. And he wrote down the address to put on the immigration card. He said, well, put his mother's address. But he said for the week between his place and the mother place we would stay. So he gave me the mother's address to put on the landing card.
Stay with us on our Dependency. After this break, we hear the turbulence in the air was nothing compared with what awaited Deborah and Joan at London Gatwick International.
So that was part one. And as we are listening back to the story as well, there's some things that we have identified as well that maybe weren't so clear before. That part, Garth, when she talked about first of all, he directed them to someone when they were checking in, to someone he identified. And I think it was that same person who came on the plane itself as they were departing and spoke to him and said, "They're looking at you." So was that person in on it?
Or maybe the person got wind of what was supposed to happen when they reached their destination.
Yes.
It's interesting.
Very.
And I am really happy that you all can take this journey with us. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Our Dependency and you're listening to the story of Deborah and Joan, how they were caught, how they were tricked. And we thank you for joining us on Facebook as well, or YouTube. YouTube family, always continue to keep the numbers going. And of course, if you are having any problems on Facebook this morning, as happened last week, please go to the Our Dependency YouTube channel. All right, so let's go to the mom and daughter again. Clip B, Shortman, let's go and let them continue with this journey with us. And let's see where it ends.
Heading to the exit and thinking their long journey was over, Joan is stopped and and her reaction reflects her disbelief and shock. All three are arrested and taken to be searched. But even while being questioned by the border agency officials, they do not see what was found where it was concealed.
So we were walking out there chatting, just talking and so, and then all I heard my mother behind me saying, "Drugs? What drugs?"
All of a sudden here, they show you the flash of the badge in front of you. I'm holding you for drugs. You're holding for drugs. I said, "What drugs?"
That's all I heard. That's when I told
What
her.
drugs? I said, "I don't know nothing about that girl." Well, I tell you, if it had a hole there, I would have gone inside it and covered up myself. I said, "What drug? I don't know anything about any drug." Well, tell him my pressure went right up. My pressure went up to 184 over whatever it is. Because when they checked me in the clinic, they said, "What happened?" And I'm trembling. A 77-year-old woman, I mean, they said her people, old people must be, I don't know. I said, "Me?" I said, "Because some trouble, I don't even never see the thing yet. I don't know how it stopped."
Like about 3 of them was around her, 3 of them around me, and 3 of them with him.
You understand?
Because when I heard Mommy said that, and I turned around like this, the one in front trying to get my attention out to tell me, "Well, I am under arrest." We were walking out to head for the exit. We were leaving the airport, and then that's when the border agency arrested us, and they took us back into the airport, that area where they do the check-in of the stuff, and so they took us back into that area, and then they took us in a room in the back.
But at that time, they didn't even open your suitcase to see something.
Yeah, because I
Up
didn't
to now,
know.
they open suitcase,
Yeah, and so I asked the officer, I said, "What have we all found something?" And she said, "Yes."
But show us. You find something, show it to us.
So we went in the back in the room, and they just told us take off our shoes and socks, and they checked that, right? And then I saw, when I passed the room, I saw they were checking him also, right? And then they took the 3 of us individually to the border agency area, where they checked every piece of paper, everything, all your hand luggage. It took everything and they checked through everything. I think we spent the night there. We spent the
whole day
there.
For 2 women who had never come into contact with the law, the experience of being arrested and spending the night in detention was unbelievably difficult. But Joan says she drew upon her faith to help us through that first night at Gatwick.
I don't know. I probably was too shocked at that point in time to say I cry, but I did cry out in prayer to God during the night, because I couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep because I am like, Lord, what is this? I mean, we just came for 1 week. And
this is
this is what happened.
At your age, you find yourself, you just land in London, preparing to go see your family, and you're spending the night in a cell. How did that feel for you?
Well, that didn't feel good at all. That did not feel good at all because I accustomed traveling, going places. So long I traveling. And this thing come and happen to me now. At this age, I will die here. And I know I'm a praying person. I'm a strong person in prayer. And whenever I pray, I do succeed in my prayer. Whatever I ask for, the Lord give it to me. So I said, look, I'm not going to die. I'm going to go through strong. That was my help. That is how I felt.
When the women are transferred to a police station to be formally charged, they make the phone call home to tell their family where they are and why. The first recipient of the news, an aunt, is understandably distraught.
They booked us in and they asked us if we wanted to speak to let the High Commission know where you are. I said, but of course.
Yes.
I said, call them and let them know. I said, next minute something happened to us and nobody know where we are. And I said, nah, call them, let them know. We spent another night there too. And we did get our phone call home, and so I called my aunt, we told her what happened, and so
she told the whole family.
And she told the family, and so.
What was her response?
Well, she was so shocked.
Tata boy.
She real boy.
Yes, Tata boy.
With her one, she just cried for everything, so she real cried. She wanted to know what happened, and so on. So, we tell them we were arrested for importing cocaine, suspicion of importing cocaine, and so.
It's time for another break, but when we return, Deborah and Joan talk about their prison experience at HMP Bronzefield as they awaited trial. So that was part 2, Garth. More red flags, and thank you to our audience on Facebook and YouTube. I see that you all are identifying some of the red flags as well. Biana says, first of all, family who you didn't see for a while and then offering to purchase tickets for 2 to that location. That's a red flag as well.
Yeah. So thank you very much for going along with the lesson.
Yes.
And appreciating the fact that Deborah and Joan walked right into it.
Yes. Almost blindfolded.
Couple things.
And before you go, just the very obvious red flag that he said he was putting sweetbread in the bag, but nobody thought to open the bag to make sure that it was in fact sweetbread. That was the first indicator for me.
That they were naive.
That they were naive.
Yes,
correct.
They trusted him.
They did.
And you're not supposed to do that. Now we know this was then. But just to let you clarify a little more, the High Commission to London, if for some reason you find yourself getting caught like this, once you know you're innocent, call the High Commission. Innocent or guilty, rather. What I mean is, what works for you too as well is that you would actually want your High Commission to be informed.
Yes.
They will see that as, okay, really, the person really didn't know, and they really found it, they got caught blindsided here. So, for those of you who may find yourself in this position, the High Commission to London, they're not going to interfere with the investigation. What they do is offer support.
Yes.
Moral support, logistical support. If you would need anything, they would procure that for you and make sure you at least have that part taken care of. That's all they can do for you.
Yep.
But just as you heard Deborah said, just to let them know that we're here in case anything happens, right?
Yeah, because there are instances where persons do not want their High Commission to be involved because
Yes.
they are aware of what they're doing.
For fear of shame or
Further
further
recrimination.
reprisal when they get home, because there's a domino effect, believe me.
Yes.
All right. So, and one more thing, again, innocent or guilty, if you are caught with drugs in your luggage, it is yours. Remember that. Once you are caught with it in your luggage, on your person, wherever, it is yours. We have to start afresh now and try to convince the authorities that you really didn't know, or busted, or try to fight it. Anyhow you take it, the drugs are yours.
Yep.
We're going to go to a break, and when we return, you're going to hear more graphic detail of what they went through and the journey through the legal
system, how they were convicted, and importantly the time that they spent in prison and how they rationalized that. How did they spend the time? How did it feel being in prison in a foreign country, for the first time in your life as a 77 and 30-something-year-old person? I mean, I can't imagine how traumatic that would have been.
We'll go to a break. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are sharing the story of Deborah and Joan this morning, how they were tricked and trapped. And you're going to be back with part 3 after this break. Stay right there.
Slavery, a terrible time in our history. The kidnapping, buying and selling of people for profit, the exploitation of another human being. It still exists today. It has a new name: human trafficking. Anyone can be a victim. There is forced labor, sexual exploitation, and domestic servitude. Human trafficking is a worldwide problem and an emerging concern for us here in Trinidad and Tobago. If you know of or suspect human trafficking activity, call the counter-trafficking hotline at 800-4CTU or 800-4288. Human trafficking is a crime. Identify it, report it, stop it. A message from the counter-trafficking unit of the Ministry of National Security.
50 by 20, 50 by 25.
This is Kyron Pollard. When you play, do it the legal way. Don't bet on illegal gaming.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. We know that you would have heard this. Fed up at the boom, fed up at the bang, fed up at the warring, fed up at the gangs. Now we are calling on talented youth under the age of 24 to answer the call. We will provide you with the instrumental. All you have to do is fill it with your own lyrics.
Yo, my name is Willie Ben, and me come for deal with all them geezer and pull them out like hair on a tweezer.
Well, not like that, but your own conscious lyrics.
Answer the call and you can win a professional music video and audio recording. Thousands of dollars in prizes. Make your team of 5. Grab your smartphone and 4 of your friends. Download the beat from the link on the Call to Order TT and Ministry of National Security Instagram pages and create your call video with your own lyrics. Post it to Instagram with the hashtags Call to Order Project or 1MNS and look out for the results.
This is the Call to Order Project, powered by the Ministry of National Security.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Ion Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us, and a reminder to those of you logged in on Facebook or YouTube, please drop a like and a follow on the page. It really helps us to boost the live, and subscribe to the YouTube channel or follow the page.
Claire Carrington says, I'm a frequent traveler, not taking any package going or coming. Keep all my bills for items purchased. Take a picture of how things are organized in suitcase, since I no longer lock suitcases. Neither do I, because they
will, if they want to get into a suitcase, they will get it.
Yeah. So,
even if they have to mash up your suitcase to do it.
Good morning, Garth. Natasha, thanks for the awareness. It is so sad to see a family member could set you up, and that's exactly what's happening here this morning.
Yep.
Family members set up these two law-abiding citizens, and they were totally caught on the next side of
unawares.
The fence. Unawares. Yes. And the trickery and deception is unreal with this guy.
Yep.
But let's continue with this story. If you're just joining us, remember, you want to hear the story from the beginning, you could go back to our Facebook or YouTube page right after the program is completed. Let's go to part 3 of Deborah and Joan.
Part 4.
Now we come to the trial where all 3 accused stand before the court, the Crown Court, and go through the vagaries of the case. And it is at this point that Deborah and Joan learn that their nephew had been involved in drug trafficking before. Because Deborah and Joan are foreign nationals, they are not allowed bail and are ordered to be detained at HMP Bronzefield until their case is called in the Crown Court. Both women described the nighttime journey to Bronzefield, handcuffed in the prison van.
When we left Magistrate Court, we were taken straight to Bronzefield HMP, where we spent the next 5 months.
This time we going, I don't know where we going. It's just because it was getting dark already. So you only see little lights with little houses, whatever, and then you see big houses and little hills. I said, oh, where are we going? Where is this place?
That was really frightening.
That was frightening for me.
Because now you're thinking about what you normally see on TV, alright? They're taking you. And in that time now we in handcuffs now.
At that time?
Yeah, that time we in handcuffs now. And we are going. And you just seen out of this little window, and outside so black and it's so cold, and my God, where we going, Jesus, Father?
How did it feel with those handcuffs on?
Oh, I can't explain that.
I just felt as a criminal.
I felt dirty.
I felt like a criminal.
I felt dirty. Take what I tell you. I said, no. I said, oh my God, don't turn your face from me, Lord. Don't turn your face to me because you know I didn't do anything, Lord. I started to cry. It wasn't easy. I'm telling you. I said, oh God, I'm not a criminal. I don't know how people do this thing over and over to themselves, you know. I said, oh my God, look at what I come to. I do nothing.
Deborah and Joan's fears of what prison would be like are almost immediately allayed on their arrival at Bronzefield. Not only do they meet friendly locals, but at least 4 of their fellow trainees as well.
Well, they have 4 house blocks. That's how it's set up. And we were taken to the first house block. And you have a 3-day induction of how the prisoners run and
both of us was together.
Yeah.
From there?
Yeah, from then on we were
together all the time.
Together. You know, and we shared a room. And from then on it was a little more tolerable. And I remember the first night when we came in, about 3 other ladies came in with us on the van. And one turned to us, she said, they asked me, what are you here for, or whatever. And she said, don't worry, man, you're at a holiday camp. And I am like, a holiday camp?
Them and the holiday?
Yeah, and there was another new girl there too. And well, the one who said about the holiday camp, she's a frequent. Frequent.
Yeah, that was it, she know.
English. And she actually kind of adopted us in a way, and showed us the ropes and what to do. And no, it's about 4 of them we met. There was one that was, there's one that came in after us, around the 28th. She came in after Christmas. And there was one, about 3 others that were there before us. One, she was pregnant. She had her baby in there. She was due to come out in July. So hopefully she is back home.
She hope, yeah, she should be home.
There's another one, she's due to come out like in November. And one got sentenced for how many years. So
she gets plenty.
Yeah, she there for a while.
So you all hung out together with the other trainees?
Well, we hung out with everybody. Because the one who was pregnant, I told her, there was a time I turned and told her, say, you should be the foreign national coordinator. Because, she was very helpful. She used to work in the library area. And she was very, very helpful. And so, everything you ask her, any questions and things, she would help you out and so.
Resigned to their fate and hopeful of being acquitted, Deborah and Joan describe how they passed the time, most of it pleasantly, at the correctional institution.
Well, I would work. I would do the work.
I used to work
Mommy started working, but then she went on retirement.
And not only that, I can't take those girls getting on cursing. I couldn't take it. I just say, I'm glad they say if you want to resign or retire. I was the only work a month or something. So when I did the sewing, the textile, I was in textile, and then I did the computer. I never won a computer in Trinidad. Or got a computer. I got my certificate and all of that. But they had the jewelry. But I couldn't do the jewelry because I didn't have my glasses.
And then it was too much hustling.
And it's too much hustling for me because when they are ladies, what? You have to be on your toes and you go. I couldn't take it. So I used to stay and go in the library and
you have your library time.
You have your library time. You have
different thing for senior
citizen thing, and then they had crochet and that kind of thing. And then we used to go chapel. We had a chapel. Yeah. We had a room where we got the papers and the activity. They used to have. They making cake and having party with your birthday. They borrowing the people on them oven. They making cake. I remember when we went in the library. I said, what big party going on here? Would
you like to know what she was celebrating?
No.
When I heard, she said, it's my anniversary. So I said, what? Her anniversary? Yeah, she in there 6 years now.
Oh, what is this? Is that?
Yes.
Oh my God. Big party,
Far from the drab and raucous surroundings they may have seen on television, Deborah and Joan realize that while they are locked up, the prison regime is one that facilitates community-type living. Both women speak glowingly about having made friends with murderers and drug addicts, who they would never have otherwise interacted with.
What I like with the system abroad is that when you come in, everybody's on the same regime. You come in like, say, silver, and then you are enhanced.
And I like how they live. They live
standard.
They live togetherness.
No,
you can't curse me. You can't give me nothing. They don't tolerate these kind of things. No disrespect.
And that kind of thing.
Prison officer, too, Judy, all of us used to take. Yeah. But what do you call them? Murderers. We hug up murderers. Addicts. You understand? We live in harmony.
Yeah.
There's no one better than one.
I mean, it's something, if you can tell me outside of that,
well, it's
this
such a
person's a
fuss.
murderer or this person,
Yeah.
you know, thing. I mean, I run it.
I run it from
nothing
you.
to do. But the thing is, they would have officers there who would come with activities to keep you going. Like they used to have this, when they see it have English, have a big horse racing thing going on. Man, better thing going on. You can win a bar, chocolate and all kind of thing, you know.
Yeah.
For Easter, you have Easter treasure hunt, you know, and things to keep you going, you know. So it's not to say, well, oh gosh, you're in prison, yeah. But sometimes you have to remind yourself, like, where you are, that you are indeed locked up.
The only time you feel that is when in the evening you go
time for locked up. Yes.
Locked up,
Yeah.
and you hear that thing come.
Yeah.
Right, you know, when I'm gonna lock up.
Let's take another break now, and when we come back, the drama in the courtroom plays out during the trial and the sentences are handed down.
So you hear, I mean, I know some people are probably like, that's a prison they went to. But yes, in other countries, they actually treat prisoners as human beings and they don't punish them for the crimes that they have committed, because that doesn't help them to rehabilitate their lives. They have to not be institutionalized or prisonized, so that when they return to society, they can change their ways.
Well, let me just explain this, folks. The British system different to a lot of other systems. British and the Dutch system, the Netherlands, they see things a different way. As you heard what Deborah and Joan said, they actually send you back to school because they give you an opportunity to turn your life around and do not attempt and reoffend. So while you're here, you're going to go to school, you're going to find a trade if you need one, we're going to educate you, and this is what the British system offered. And so there was a bright side of coming out of this. The intention is to empower you when you leave there, so you won't have to traffic drugs again. Yep. And that's the bottom line. But they spoke about the handcuffs. I think reality hit when I've been in that position. You see handcuffs, folks? Trust me. It's not a nice feeling at all, and that dirty feeling as Joan described. But once again, once you are caught, it's all over. But H.M. Brunsfield, I don't think it's. I think they closed it down. Because of downturn in economy and stuff, and they moved the ladies to another location. But trust, all of them, we've been to at least 8 prisons, and they're all the same. It's a blueprint, sort of, the way they speak to the prisoners. They address them as Mr. or Sir or Miss. They do that. We've heard that. We've seen it. A prison officer, a correctional officer out there cannot lose the key of his head to disrespect a prisoner, because the prisoner has the opportunity to report it, and he and the officer will be before a tribunal. Correct. But that's for school stuff. We are not close to that as yet. Maybe next 3 centuries, I don't know, but we may get to that one day. But but that's how it is out there. They respect you, and because, as Natasha, there's life after prison. Correct. And they concentrate on that. So finally,
what just to pick up on a comment here, how you mean not, Alison, how you mean not punished for your crime? Going to prison is the punishment. She goes on to say, I don't advocate inhumane treatment in prison, but at the same time, it can't be like going to a Hilton. It can't be a Hilton because you can leave a Hilton. People cannot get up and walk out of a prison. As the mother and daughter mentioned, the only time they remembered that they were actually deprived of their freedom is at lockdown, when everybody has to go to their room. And you notice she said room and not cell.
Yeah, but they focus on rehabilitation.
Correct.
Also. That's what they do. That's the basic idea. So
I don't know what is this fascination people have with seeing a prison as a Hilton or a Hyatt. It's not a hotel. Remember, you cannot leave.
But again,
that is the punishment for the crime that you have been convicted of.
You don't go to prison to be punished.
To be punished.
You go to prison as a result of a punishment you got from the court.
Correct. So
Right?
your punishment should
Look at
not
it
be
like that.
living in inhumane conditions. That should not even enter the realm. Because how are you supposed to rehabilitate in conditions like that?
Okay, if you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency. So you're hearing from Deborah and Joan. They were tricked and deceived into walking right into the hands of the law into Gatwick Airport. What happened from here? Well, let's go to part 4 of this journey and the conclusion. And when we return after the break, you're going to hear from another young lady who you would have heard before, Raquel. She's back home and she starts a climb again in our society. And let's see how that has been going for her. And anybody know, this is a public service part of our program that we normally do. Mr. Marvin Gonzalez, anybody knows how to contact him, let him know we have something to show him before we leave.
This is the Minister of Public Utilities?
Yes. He's in charge of the entity called WASA.
Yes.
And we're going to do this with all the most humble and honorable intentions.
Yes, we are citizens, and this is something that we have noticed in our community, and it's something that we would like to have addressed.
Yeah, and it's prevalent all across Trinidad and
Correct.
Tobago, and it's causing some, I'm sure they would cause safety. The thing is, we want road safety.
And quality of life.
And quality. So that is our public service part of this morning's broadcast today. But please reach out to the minister, and we have a suggestion, not just a complaint or to bash the entity, but we have a suggestion. Let's see if that will work, all right? So let's go to part 4 of Mom and Daughter, Deborah and Joan. What?
The trial is now here, and both women are reunited with the nephew who they completely ignore in the courtroom, although they are being charged together. Their scorn is justified when it is revealed that the nephew had previously attempted to smuggle 4 kilos of cocaine into the UK, using an unsuspecting victim.
Because every morning we have to get up and get ready for 6:30. We have to go down to reception and to leave there 8 o'clock. So it was every morning for the next 2 weeks. I was went for 2 weeks.
And he was there during that time too?
Yes, he was there. Because the trial was against the 3 of us, the state versus the 3 of us.
And you all never made eye contact with him?
He tried to talk to her, but I don't want her to talk to him.
He tried all kind of things to say, but I just ignored him.
You alright?
Yeah. Are you okay? Are you need money? What's
I have nothing to do with him. I have nothing to do with him.
But at that time is when we found out that my nephew had done it already in 2007.
Already 2 weeks.
And that story was, and they had to disclose it for our case. I tell you, the faces of the jury.
Yeah, them juries, well, I tell you. Yeah, because he was lying.
In 2007, I'll tell you what he said, right? He said that some money partner in Trinidad gave him the bag and tell him to give it to the lady to carry up for his family in the UK. Right? And and guess what it was? It was sweet bread, preservatives. How much the cocaine was? It was 4 kilos. That lady had 4 kilos. But she was not prosecuted because of her illness. But he got acquitted. He said, well, yes, my fingerprint was on the bag because I carried the bag for the lady. No, my thought being, you know that happened to you already. You're taking the bag from the boy again, if that is your story. You're taking it out and then from the boy getting deported with ammunition and drugs. That is your story. Nah, you have to come better. Instead I realized, nah, you lying.
In the end, the nephew was sentenced to 6 years in prison, bringing great relief to Deborah and Joan. But by his family's reaction after the sentencing, they did not suspect he was so deeply involved in the drug world.
And when they told us to stand up, I was just like rehearsing everything in my mind. You know how it is with everybody. When you always please stand, and they stand, and they say verses so and so, you know, and they call his name first. How we find the fella, and then when he was guilty. And then I say, alright, me next. They call my name, verses so and so, I am not guilty. I say, thank you, Lord. And then when they called my mother, they said versus so and so, I am not guilty. I just didn't know what to do. And I was just watching him to see his reaction.
Not a thing.
And he was there like he was just signaling to the mother and then, you know, telling him, probably bring the bag or whatever. And I saw his wife and I went to her. I hugged her. I said, I told her, I said, it's not as bad as you think. I said, he will make it. I said, he will be alright. He will make it. And then she was crying and we were crying and stuff because I know his daughter very, very close. She clings to her father. And she's the one I am studying. I am studying them. I studied as a child. And the judge went to talk on him. You are indescribable. I know about human being.
What kind of person is? Why you did that to these people?
Yeah.
Why? You're not nice. She gave him good.
Finally, we begin where we started. The number one lesson learned by this mother and daughter is a harsh one that few people ever contemplate. The ultimate message is that you can never be too careful, especially when it comes to traveling abroad.
My warning would be, do not trust anybody. It could be family, it could be a friend, especially if you are given something to carry or whatever. Do not trust anybody and say, well, this is because it's my family, give it to me. And trust and say, well, yes, they will not do you any harm. Because there is a potential that, yes, they can harm you. You know? And, to be more vigilant, I guess. More alert.
Yes.
Into things that are around you,
It's something for us to come back and tell people. We have to go out there and tell people. We got to tell them in church, be careful. Don't even trust your family.
So that was Deborah and Joan's story, and as some people have commented on the live, Garth, some of them are familiar with this family, live in the same community, and Fiola was saying that the community was praying for them and kept them up.
Yes.
And were hoping for their safe return and that the nephew would have met justice. But
this happened to Trinidad and Tobago nationals.
Yes.
Law-abiding citizens.
Wasn't the first time and certainly won't be the last unless everybody takes heed.
So we hope you learn a lesson from this. Again, not only is it suspicious for someone offering to buy you a ticket to go to England of all places, to London of all places, that is 10,000 plus we're talking about to start with.
Correct.
And even the authorities, why I think one of the reasons you have to book tickets in advance is there's a reason behind that as well. Yes. And anytime it's recorded where somebody bought a ticket for you last week to travel next week, red flag. So you'll be watched even as you walk into the airport. it's not an easy thing to experience. It's not a nice thing to experience.
No.
We just hope that you learn the act, the means and the purpose here of human trafficking this morning. Again, the act was what? Anybody could drop a line on Facebook or YouTube. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we just took a journey in the life of Deborah and Joan. They were tricked by a relative, and they got caught at Gatwick with cocaine in their possession. So the act was what? Deception, trickery. You know, they were gullible, very gullible, and somebody asked why they didn't supervise the putting in the suitcase.
Why he didn't put it in the suitcase in their presence.
In their presence. They dropped their guard.
Yep.
He groomed them well enough.
Yes.
Which is another act. He groomed them well enough to relax them for they to drop their guard. So they, this guy just spent $20,000+ on us.
The least we could do is allow him to put some sweetbread in our bag.
In our suitcase, yeah. We do have to monitor that. But now they know. Now you know. Don't be so gullible. Don't let it happen to you.
Yes.
Please, because that feeling alone, like I said, once you're caught, it's all over.
And listen, people, you see when Garth and I traveling, I don't let him put anything in my bag and vice versa, Don't feel because we doing this program and we married and this and that. I don't play, because when that immigration or customs officer asks me if I pack my bag, or I know about the contents of my bag, I have to be able to say yes. I'm not going through that. Not even for the love of my life. I'm not doing it. So please, even if you are traveling with a family, a relative, or whoever you're traveling with, do not allow them to, oh gosh, my suitcase full. You could put this in your bag for me. You might want to say yes, but inspect it before it goes in your bag. Inspect it thoroughly. And even question in your mind, I wonder why you packing so that you can't fit this in your bag. Don't accede to the request that easily, because you know how dangerous the outcome could be if that person decides to sneak some illicit substance into your luggage.
And do your own research too, because in the US it's not this soft. In the US they hit you for 6.
That's right.
Japan, China,
10 years and up. Oh God, Japan worse.
Well, they bury you. So especially China, places like China and Japan and all these places, anytime you hear somebody get caught in that area with cocaine, ask them to change the address one time, because that's the only place people will be able to reach you for a very long time.
Correct.
So we hope you learned a lesson from Deborah and Joan this morning. We go to a break, and when we return, we do a brief chat with Raquel. And remember, also, if you missed the beginning of the program, you can go back to our Facebook and YouTube channel and get it from the beginning when this program comes to an end. Thank you for joining us. Remember to like, especially on the YouTube channel. Please help us to grow the channel by liking and subscribing to it, and you will be always informed of what we are doing and have to do. All right, so let's go to that break. And when we return, we speak with another young lady who went through the same thing, but for different reasons. We'll be back.
Hello. Hi, this is Patricia Kent from HMP London. Can I speak to Miss Sheila, please?
This is Miss Sheila.
Hi, I've got an important call for you. Please hold the line.
Mommy, it's Sherry.
Oh God, Sherry, we looking for you all the time. 3 weeks now. Where you going?
Mommy, according to tell you, I get locked up. I had drugs in my luggage and I'm in England right now. In jail.
Oh God, Sherry, what will you do? How you reach there? Oh God, how we gonna do?
Oh God, Mommy, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It'll be alright. Sorry, I'm sorry.
On Dependency, reality radio at its best every Sunday on I-95.5 FM. Don't miss it.
$50 by $20, $50 by $25.
This is Kyron Pollard. When you play, do it the legal way. Don't bet on illegal gaming.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. We know that you would have heard this. Fed up at the boom, fed up at the bang, fed up at the warring, fed up at the gangs. Now we are calling on talented youth under the age of 24 to answer the call. We will provide you with the instrumental. All you have to do is fill it with your own lyrics.
Yo, my name is Willie Ben, and me come for deal with all them geezer and pull them out like hair on a tweezer.
Well, not like that, but your own conscious lyrics.
Answer the call and you can win a professional music video and audio recording. Thousands of dollars in prizes. Make your team of 5. Grab your smartphone and 4 of your friends. Download the beat from the link on the Call to Order TT and Ministry of National Security Instagram pages and create your call video with your own lyrics. Post it to Instagram with the hashtags Call to Order Project or 1MNS and look out for the results.
This is the Call to Order Project, powered by the Ministry of National Security.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on Dependency, and we are live on I-95.5 and on Facebook and YouTube. And remember to get those likes up. Please like the live on Facebook or YouTube, wherever you are. Please, it really helps keep us on the air. And we have Raquel on the line.
Raquel, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Raquel.
Hi there, how are you?
I am good.
You're good.
So you listened to Deborah and Joan.
I
Brought back any
did.
memories?
I did. It was a very compelling story, and it brought back, let's say, nostalgia. Seemed like I was there with them.
So, did you ever meet them though?
No.
Okay.
I never encountered.
Remind us of which prison you were at and what was your sentence?
I was at HMP Style, and then I was moved to HMP Drake Hall after my sentencing.
Okay.
Right.
My sentence was 5.5 years.
So tell just before we bring you in actually to do your interview. So we're just introducing you to our friends and family this morning. And so just for those of who did not remember, what were your circumstances? Because you heard how Deborah and Joan got caught in their trap. How were you trapped?
Mine was offer, basically. I had just had a baby, and her father was not in the picture. He wasn't assisting because he had another baby, like 2 weeks before my baby, with his ex-girlfriend, because I was the current girlfriend. So I had just had a baby, my first baby, actually. I was 25 years old at the time. And it was a hard situation, not being supported by him or, friends or family at that point in time, because everybody had their own lives living, and to put a part into my life, it was difficult, and I understood that. So mine was, listen, I needed a way to take care of my firstborn on my own. I was very sick during pregnancy, and after delivery it was difficult as well. So it was about 4 months, and I couldn't even get off my bed without throwing up or falling down, because That's just how it was. And my baby wasn't taking anything except breast at the time. So the situation was kind of dire. And when I got an opportunity, I was like, to me, this is the first one, let me jump on it. Not knowing it would be a situation where I would have been caught up. Being flustered and desperate, I should say, I just jump on any horse or donkey, even a wheelbarrow that was coming along. Being, just in that position at the time. And as I said, being independent before getting pregnant and being sick and not able to fend for yourself or do things for yourself, it was very crazy. If anyone has been independent and that rug pulled away from under them, they will know it's not a good feeling, not a good time, not a good situation. But as I said, being flustered and desperate, I jumped on any bandwagon. And the bandwagon I jumped on, it wasn't one to intentionally import, but to just make money, fast money.
And who did you accept the offer for? You don't have to call names, but give us a sense of who presented that opportunity, quote unquote, to you.
To be honest, I'm so far back. I don't remember if this was a friend of a friend or a friend recommending a friend, their friend. I will have to clarify that properly. But that is basically what it is, it was.
But the bottom line for you was you were desperate enough to make some money. You just needed some cash.
Yes, I needed it. It wasn't a want, it was a need. A whole human was involved. So it was a desperate time. Because we don't want to give away too much, because we want to have you, tell your full story. As I said, it's vacation time now, and, a lot of people are in the position that you were in back then. And it sounds good, the offer sounds good, 40,000, 50,000, and you're getting to actually take a trip, right? Yeah, you get to take a trip, and then when you do the conversion of the amount of money in your brain, you're like, when I go and come back, I good. I really do. You understand?
And you don't have to ask nobody for nothing.
You understand? Well, that was what I developed. That was what I thought at that point. Because at that point when I went, it was 11 years ago, I think the exchange rate was close to either 11 or 12.
Yes.
So when you calculate 10,000 pounds in your brain and you're saying, well, right, that's a cool 100 and something thousand dollars. Yeah, let me do this. You're not even really thinking, you're just like, I'm going to be good, I'll be set.
But Raquel, tell us a little bit, again, not giving away too much, but we've had, when we played the story about Deborah and Joan, some people, and the way that they described Bronzefield, what was prison like for you in terms of the conditions, people you met, and what you got out of it?
Oh, well, when I was at HMP Style, that was while I was on remand. That was before I got sentenced. HMP Style is a type of I think it might be the same as Bronzefield, but I was never there, so I can't say. But it was a very community-like. It had houses, and the houses had rooms, different rooms. There was an office, a main office in each house for each officer. Each house was assigned a male and a female officer. And your meals will be brought to the house, and then you will have to get up to go to work or to school. There was a whole section allocated for foreign nationals, where any foreign national, once you were not born or a British national, the foreign national agency within the prison, you could go to them and get like extra credit to call home, or they will ensure that you get into a certain course if it's filled for you to continue your education. That sort of little push now, that agency, that little section. And when I got sentenced in Drake Hall is a full foreign national prison. They cater to everybody in the UK. So it's come like in Trinidad here, we have a detention center that only immigrants is being. But HMP Drake Hall is a prison with mostly and only foreign nationals from Africa, India, China, mostly all over the world, different cultures, different everything. It was a whole different experience when I went there. Here was how to put it? We know you're going back home, so this is what we are preparing you for. So they were more on education, and they worked with they had a section there where DHL had the company DHL had people working for them in there.
This is the courier company, DHL?
DHL Courier, yes.
Okay.
They had a section in there where foreign nationals would package people's goods and they would be sent out from there. So that was a whole different experience. Community, same way, different houses shared, could be a laundry, different rooms have different laundry day. So it didn't have any confusion. It was a very well organized, well-oiled ship.
Well,
Return home.
Well, Raquel, so you're back home now, and we wanted to catch up with you because we have this series, where are they now? But you in search of employment once again.
Yes.
Right. So when we bring you in, you can explain all of that to us. In the meantime, how do we contact you, or how, if someone wants to offer you some employment, and what area you're looking at, but is it okay for us to share their number with you?
Yes. Okay. I have, as in my interview, I got educated while I was there, and when I came back home, I still continued to educate myself. It didn't affect anything when I came back home. As I said, I got married, I had a child, so I upgraded myself. I didn't let that experience keep me down. I have a diploma in safety. I have computers. I've upgraded in a lot of things. Whatever CXC passes I didn't have, I have now.
Right.
I have GIS. So it wasn't that bad to continue to go up when I came back home, and I did. So, yeah.
Okay,
when they could call me, and I will explain my certification, and I have all my copies and everything.
Yes. Well, from past experience, when we did that, we had a few predators calling the person, and unfortunately, we have to live among those people too.
Yes.
So that's why we ask them, anybody interested in helping you, we will vet them, and once it's safe enough to give them your number, we will. In the meantime,
I do trust your judgment, so yes, you all can.
Yes. But we thank you very much for giving us a little time with us this morning, and
no problem.
With a preview of what's to come with you and your story, and advice that you would have to young ladies. In short, before you go, could you offer some words of advice to young women listening to you?
And also tell us about the baby girl. How is she?
Oh, well, the baby girl is amazing. She is now a teenager. And she is doing very, very, very well. A's and B's I'm getting. The connection, when I came home, we reconnected as mother and daughter, like, you're my mommy? Yes, I'm your mommy. And she was all for mommy, team mommy. It was really nice. She wrote SEA. She passed her SEA on her first attempt. And now she's not in Trinidad. She's abroad now, pursuing her dream with help of my sister and her grandfather and godparents and myself.
All right.
So it's a team effort.
Wonderful.
But advice would you give, finally?
The advice I would give is don't let desperation cloud your judgment at any point in time. As I said in my interview before, and I'll say today again, I learned patience being where I was. And being patient does show you and give you a better result than now for now decision. Long term is better than short term. See your dream, go for it, take the steps. Climb. You will reach.
You said it. Thank you very much, Raquel.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We'll be in touch, all right?
Okay.
Take care.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
You too. Bye-bye. So that was Raquel.
That was Raquel.
Trinidad and Tobago, before we go to that break and come back and address Minister Marvin Gonzalez, and then take some of your calls before we go, tell us what you've learned from what you heard this morning, and what you expect can happen if you end up in this position. What would you do? Natasha?
Yeah, so let's go to a break, and when we come back, we will share with you those videos that Garth actually, videos and images that we have gathered in terms of what we have seen in our community and in the surrounding areas, and how we can get WASA to do better. We'll be back.
$50 by $20, $50 by $25.
This is Kyron Pollard. When you play, do it the legal way. Don't bet on illegal gaming.
Slavery, a terrible time in our history. The kidnapping, buying and selling of people for profit, the exploitation of another human being. It still exists today. It has a new name: human trafficking. Anyone can be a victim. There is forced labor, sexual exploitation, and domestic servitude. Human trafficking is a worldwide problem and an emerging concern for us here in Trinidad and Tobago. If you know of or suspect human trafficking activity, call the counter-trafficking hotline at 800-4CTU or 800-4288. Human trafficking is a crime. Identify it, report it, stop it. A message from the counter-trafficking unit of the Ministry of National Security.
Hello, Trinidad and Tobago. We know that you would have heard this. Fed up at the boom, fed up at the bang, fed up at the warring, fed up at the gangs. Now we are calling on talented youth under the age of 24 to answer the call. We will provide you with the instrumental. All you have to do is fill it with your own lyrics.
Yo, my name is Willie Ben, and me come for deal with all them geezer and pull them out like hair on a tweezer.
Well, not like that, but your own conscious lyrics.
Answer the call and you can win a professional music video and audio recording. Thousands of dollars in prizes. Make your team of 5. Grab your smartphone and 4 of your friends. Download the beat from the link on the Call to Order TT and Ministry of National Security Instagram pages and create your call video with your own lyrics. Post it to Instagram with the hashtags Call to Order Project or 1MNS and look out for the results.
This is the Call to Order Project, powered by the Ministry of National Security.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on Dependency. Another reminder, please like the live on Facebook. And it costs nothing. It's free 99. Just drop a like, please, and show us that you are there and you're listening. We appreciate some of you who are commenting.
Yes, we'll take your calls on Deborah and Joan in a while, and
also
Raquel.
like the lives, please.
Yes. Before we go to what we have to show the minister this morning, and I hope somebody contacted the minister so we can offer a solution. Why him? Because we realize he's a forward-thinking person. He hit the ground running in Trinidad and Tobago, and we want to congratulate him for that. Well done. with the amount of projects and work and making people happy, literally, Minister. And we thank you for that. Before we go to that, I want to say to people out there who thinking about committing a crime, who thinking about taking that chance. Listen, you see, reintegrating into society, it is not an easy thing. All right? Take all the time, especially servicemen. Take your time. I wish I could have the opportunity to take you all on a journey via lectures, having you all in an audience to tell you what it's like to get a dishonorable discharge or not have a pension and gratuity and have to depend on and live in a society where there's no policy for people like us. It's who you meet, who understand, and who don't understand. Who respects you, who don't respect you. You will go through a roller coaster of emotions trying to reintegrate in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yep.
Please avoid yourself from feeling or getting that wish or wishing on yourself that you were never born. There were times I felt like that. People made me, or I allowed people to make me feel like that because I'm genuine, I'm honest, and and this is how Dependency started. I wanted to share my life with you so that you wouldn't experience my life and your parents to experience it too as well. That's all. There's nothing else behind this program but that. Make the right choice. Talk to your children. Let me share a story with you all real quick that I saw this morning.
And even if you do make a mistake, please do not try to understand people's circumstance and situation before you condemn them when they have fallen, because that is a reality of life too. You will not always make the right choice. Sometimes you will make a mistake. And once you acknowledge that it is in fact a mistake and an error on your part, then the rest of us should not condemn you for that.
And congratulations to the police in Tobago, because a Lambo Tobago man was arrested by police in Lambo. He was held with a pistol, 15 rounds of ammunition, mask, shortwave radio, and ecstasy pills. Ecstasy pills.
Okay. So ecstasy in Tobago now. Good.
No, that's another story. We leave Tobago for another time. Now Tobago want the help now. Thank God we don't have anybody in Trinidad to tell you that is Tobago business or to deal with that. But remember, that's what you all said to us when we tried to warn you that Tobago is going to reach to this. Unfortunately, you didn't listen. Again, because of who is saying it. Our Lord. Father, let's go to the video. Start with video H first. Wassa at Carnelian Gardens. Minister, look at this. I want you to see this. Again, it's not to bash the entity, because what we realize is that is a standard that generation in this institution called Wassa. We realize that now, right? Not now, but we realize that that's a huge problem with Trinidad and Tobago.
Anybody looking at this, is this right? Is this fair? Is this?
Look at this, people.
Oh God!
This is in front of somebody's house.
Yes.
Now,
in the middle of the road.
In the middle of the road, in front of their driveway. Wassa came, they did their job. Wassa is an important entity. We know that. But, Minister...
And like they have cones to give away.
And every place they leave this... Now, look at this. This is in a residential area. This mound of gravel with this cone on top of it. And let me tell you, the councillor for the area had been working her backside off, let me pardon for using that language, to satisfy the burgesses of Diego Martin, who she's responsible for. Her name is Makeda?
Makeda James, yes.
Right. Every time something happens, she gets a call, she springs into action. We cannot accuse her of being a slouch. But
how is she supposed to fix this?
No, she's been mobilized now and she's trying to get it done. This is just the beginning. Let's go to the next one. Go to G. Shortman. Tell me what you think and we, as I say, we have a solution.
Look at this baby here.
This will have some audio.
Isn't this beautiful?
Right? Now, this was last week, Minister. It gets worse, right? Because the first one have this had 1 cone, they have to leave 5 cones in this one. But by the time you pass this morning, there's about 3 cones. So this is wasting resources too as well, because these cones are important.
What it is?
Now I put it on film
This
for
company
you to see.
Called Wassa.
Look at it.
Wait, hold on. I want to hear the
I
audio.
don't know what it is. But they have a lot of cones to spare because people will steal these.
And then you'll see one on Mokrap Road just now.
Yeah, well, here's the audio from that one I want to hear.
So, Minister, this is in the same community. This time on a home, a major intersection,
and a corner. So
right?
There's literally 3/4 of the road has been taken over by this development. I mean, I had to call it that because it's rock, stone, and dirt, and gravel, and cones.
Let me repeat. Wassa is an important entity. They are important. But
this is shoddy work.
Why would you do this to residents? No, it rained yesterday and the before yesterday in a good bit, right? So you can imagine what happened.
So this is
when that was
before the
finished.
rain. You see how high the mound is before the rain.
Yes. This
and
was
after
before the rain.
You see where it reached. And all of that is going into the drains and further clogging it up, because we do have a flooding issue when the river rises above its banks in this particular area. People's homes are flooded when there's a lot of rain.
No, we're doing this, Minister, because the Burgesses, they don't have the opportunity that we have. So this is why we're presenting it. Now let's go to Mokarapa Road, Warren Street. Look at this one. Listen. Just put up the volume, man. So let's go to video F now.
Yeah, F. Short man.
Short man. Let's go to video F. Minister, we need your help. We need your help. If it's just to raise the standard of the... I took some pictures first. Right?
And
now,
then we come to the video.
This is on the eastbound lane on Mokrap Road, Warren Street to be exact. On the eastbound lane. Look where this job was done.
Another product. Look it up. Jesus. Look how much of the road these people cut off. And left it just like that. Oh good grief. Why? So cars now have to go around this. So you can imagine when it's during rush hour, what happens here? Thank God school is closed. Oh Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. Fix it. Only you could fix this. Well, apart from the minister. We'll try with him first, right? And report back to you.
Only you could fix it! Come by here, Lord!
As I say, Minister, I'm coming to you before I go back to Jesus. Because I report back to you. Now, is it possible that there can be some type of coordination with this organization and or even if we could empower them, because already about 10, 12 of them that show up on a job site, right? What about if you organize with the regional corporation or somebody that they can coordinate so they can make a call and say, okay, tomorrow we're doing work at so-and-so site. As soon as we finish, come and pave it over. Could that be achieved, Minister? Could we have some type of coordination like that so that, in the military, they call it break and patch. Meaning that, you see, when you leave, like people who go to the beach and leave all their rubbish and our nasty citizens who do that, when the military occupy a spot, when they leave, you pass there the next day, you will pass there the next 5 minutes. You will never know the military was there because they leave no sign that they were there. Could we have that type of military operation with WASA as well and another entity so that we would not know that they were there when they leave?
That requires planning, preparation, and coordination.
Yeah, Minister, could we achieve that?
Seems to be sorely lacking. But according to Roger O'Brien on YouTube, God, He says, as far as I understand, you cannot immediately compact, meaning, compact the earth on recently changed or repaired coupling joints on aged infrastructure.
Okay, fine. So is there a way, Roger, help us, Roger?
Roger, yes.
Roger, is there a way that it can be neatly done? Help us here, because this is not good. This is, we've seen...
And it stays there indefinitely, there's not even a time frame as to when can we expect this road to be back to its original state.
Roger,
how long? A month? A year?
Roger, so educate us a little more by telling us what's the time frame between fixing the joint and it can be restored to... Because, we've seen this all over the world. But it applies here. But help us, Roger. Maybe you can help us to help the minister so we can all be a team here this morning to see how we could fix this issue. Because it is totally unbecoming. It is totally...
it's frustrating.
It's frustrating. It's
an inconvenience.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yes.
And then it's in front of people's dwelling place.
Correct.
So imagine the mud you have to pass through that and then drive in your yard with. Come on.
And
there must be a better way.
These workers, they're not going to do that in front of their house. This is part of my problem. You're working in a residential community. You have to know that the work you're doing is impacting on people's lives. You cannot be so flippant and don't care about your work and the standards that you apply.
And the word is standard here, Minister, the word is standard. What about bringing them up to our standard? Because we realize it's something that was inherited. So, okay, maybe the gang before them and the gang before them, they did it that way, so they just continue the motion. Because it's the same way it's passed on in the military, from one commander to the next, from one, there's a culture.
God, you remember when we traveled to Toronto, we were staying at a hotel in Toronto, and we would leave the hotel on a morning to go and do our interviews and come back. So we left one morning, and there were, I think, 3 or 4 men doing a similar kind of job fixing the road. They had a machine, a specialized machine that they were using. So we took note of it when we left. By the time we came back, you know that the hole that they cut in the road was virtually indistinguishable. We didn't know any work happened. By the time we returned in the afternoon, we had no idea that there were workers there. If we didn't see them on our way out, we would never have known there was a hole in the road.
That's the vision we have for this entity here in Trinidad and Tobago. Because we paid attention to that and realized, wait a minute, these people fixed this back already?
Mm-hmm.
Could we achieve that at some point in time, Minister, when, apart from your, apart from your busy schedule, we just thought we would have drawn it to your attention this morning. We know that there's nothing we can do about it because, as I said, this type of action here is inherited. We understand that. So these workers just doing what they were shown to do, and that was passed on from one generation to the next.
And according to Fiola, she says 3 weeks ago, WASA workers came to my yard and fixed a problem. And when they left, one of her soursop plants left with them. What is that about?
There's another condition that we have to deal with.
Fix it, Jesus. Only you could fix it at this point.
Yeah, we're looking at that. When they finish, we must say, hey, job well done, guys. Congratulations, you did well.
Thank you very much for restoring our water supply, for fixing the pipe. We understand that water is an important, precious resource. We understand the importance of the work that you do. But please, it can be, you must understand that it can be an inconvenience to the residents when you don't have water or when the pipes or whatever being repaired. But to add another layer of inconvenience when the roads themselves are in disrepair and being left in this state, it just compounds the frustration. We want water, yes, but not at the expense of our sanity.
And safety on the roads.
And safety
all right?
on the road.
So, Minister, thank you. If you didn't listen, please, those of you who telling the Minister, please only carry the right news, because when we interviewed Minister Hines here the morning, I got a call from MP Scotland telling me that somebody said that I said he gave us drugs to use in the military.
Yes.
He gave me drugs to use in the military. Yeah, that's what a normal citizen in this country did. Call the minister.
Called him MP.
No, sent him a message actually, saying that Garth Sinclair accused you of giving him cocaine in the military.
Yeah.
That's what the person heard. No, I say 2 minutes. They put on the radio, they hear that line, and then they take it off.
They switch it off.
Because you telling me? I am still getting victimized all day, I'm sure, because people, when they hear Garth Christopher. My name is Garth St. Clair, folks. I'm not Garth Christopher. You see, some of you don't listen to any other station. So when somebody listens to that gentleman on his platform and you hear the first name Garth, the first person comes to mind is me. I am sure, and in some cases people told me, but I'm sure I've gotten victimized because of having the same first name with that gentleman. My name is Garth St. Clair, not Christopher. All right, folks? So the person who called the minister and told him that, when the minister said me that, I just laugh, because I know we didn't say that and we were safe. It wasn't him. And I know Minister Hines wouldn't allow me to say something like that about his cabinet colleague and not pull me up on it. Correct. So this person, but still sent the message to Mr. Scotland saying, Garth
is wicked and mischievous. They're wicked and mischievous, clearly, because how do you listen to, even if you had listened to the entire sentence or paragraph that you were speaking about your experience to begin with, there's no way. 6223937. There's no way. There's no way. Do we know that Minister Scotland was ever in the army? Oh God.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. and Mrs. Sinclair.
Morning.
I didn't expect to hear you talking about WASA this morning. Anyway, I sent you a picture of some work that WASA did at a property of mine. You contact the WASA office. First of all, I think I must let you know that they entered my property without my permission, dug up what you're looking at there, dug up the road, resurfaced the roads and caused a tailback for about 2 miles. And to date, they just have not compensated me. And speaking to someone in the WASA office, he hung up the telephone on me. I had to call the seniors and tell them what sort of people you have working in there, how you could hang up the phone on a customer. And to date, they're just sleeping. Right? They're just sleeping.
Mr. Thank you very much. I've seen the photo. But however, let's stay focused. That was our public service announcement, but this is not a program to call and speak about WASA. I know a lot of you experiencing stuff. Yeah, and but I just wanted to, again, for citizens like him to avoid this happening to him and other citizens. So this is why we drew the attention to the minister this morning, hoping and praying that and let's see another standard. All right, we're not bashing them. I have tried to reach out to a gentleman there. The lady was very pleasant, who took the messages about 5 times. I tried, plenty times. And he did not one time respond to my call. It's okay. We're not bashing you. We understand. It's culture. Trinidad and Tobago, most of our behaviors are affected by things that we continue to put, that got embedded in our behavior. Mm-hmm. And in some quarters, it seems acceptable.
Yes.
That's unfortunately that's what faces us in Trinidad and Tobago, and we just trying to make our part here, the time we have on air, and what we have to do to contribute to our society, a worthwhile one. That's all.
But we'll take your calls now at 622-3937.
Let's about Deborah and Joan.
Deborah and Joan's story, yes.
Tell us what you think. What lesson did you learn from it? Did you understand the act, the means, and the purpose? Do you understand it still? Good morning.
Good morning, Dr. Shaw. This is Mr. Toronto. How are you going? Good program as ever.
Morning.
Thanks. Yeah, I just say to Raquel, good girl. You make me proud, man. You make me proud to hear you come out and all the achievements you make while you was in prison and whatnot. So continue doing the best. I know you're in good hands with God, Dr. Tasha. All right. So God, another thing with this road surfacing, you know. If I driving or anybody driving on the road and I see a pothole on the highway. Because you have potholes here. And you have to report it to the Ministry of Transportation here. And they fix it and the vehicle get damaged. They have to fix it. Right? And they do work. They do a lot of work. There are a lot of construction going on within the subway line here now. But they have to fix certain things. And if your vehicle get damaged, you report it to the Ministry of Transportation, the person, the entity who is doing that job have to pay for it. Yeah, so you could, I mean, you come across and you see how they operate. They have to fix stuff right away. As you said, you see somebody fixing something in the morning, by the time they come back in the evening, it's done.
Yep.
Yeah, so you will know the work done there. Yeah, so
Toronto, thank you.
I'm glad that you guys traveling and see what's going on here. I'm not bashing the minister because the minister is working hard. That minister, I could tell, works hard, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez. And I'm proud of that man. And you understand? So,
so are we.
You guys continue doing a good program, and nobody could never victimize you because why? You're speaking the truth. I can tell you that.
Friend. Thank you.
As I'm blessings, my brother. I'll talk to you.
622-3937. Good morning.
Good morning, Garth and Natasha.
Deborah and Joan, what you thought?
Good morning. What you say?
Deborah and Joan, how you felt?
Yeah, listen, when I remembered when I traveled years ago, I made a promise to myself I will take nothing out the country wrapped in foil. Because I was given pastels to carry for a relative. And when I got to Miami airport, my hand luggage, I had it in my hand luggage, I was pulled over. It was pulled off the ramp, it was coming down. And the officer took it up and he called me and he said, they asked you, is this your bag? I said yes. He told me to open it. He said, because they couldn't read, well, like the scanner, whatever, couldn't see through the foil.
Yes. Correct, and
somebody posted that. He made me open them. I didn't open all, about 5. And boy, here and a man, I say, Lord, if my connecting flight was close, I would have lost that flight.
Yep.
People need to be careful
carrying
things out the country because, listen, you doesn't know what you're carrying. And every time I go to Miami airport, I remember that situation. Never may carry nothing wrapped in foil. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Thank you. Cheryl Henry said, Ekaro, Garth and Natasha, a family member gave me pastels wrapped in foil to take to Atlanta. My carry-on bag got pulled. The officer told me the scanner cannot see what is in the foil. So that's
So foil is a red flag.
Yes,
if anybody give you something wrapped in foil, put it in something else.
But your last name is also a red flag. My honest.
Right. Good morning. 622-3937. Tell us what you thought about the story, Deborah, Joan, and Raquel.
Morning, God. Morning, Tasha.
Morning.
It's hard to teach a old dog new tricks, Tasha, and God, That's really what I see. You can't when it's cool. So it's a culture that Minister Marvin Gonzalez has inherited for decades. So it's that's going to take a while to change, as they say, God. Remember you call on Jesus, a higher power.
Yes.
Dealing with the situation, with the topic at hand, God, I had a friend that went away by close relatives, right? And siblings. And a lot of things was brought back home. And he's saying he night in the room, Tasha, he stripped down that whole suitcase, And I don't know what there's a relative that giving him to carry.
Yes.
As you say, you can't trust that. You trusting people, especially when they travel. That is in the US. And all they mention Japan and China, all they fail to mention Singapore.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
That is all they fail to mention. They get caught there, any stuff. So, you see, to put that elderly through that, you see, some people, they love money bad. They love wrong thing. But they're looking to push people in front to take the heat.
Yes.
And how could you do something like that? But as I said, there are money satans out there, and that's just the price to pay. So as I always said, Garth and Tasha, you can see a man and a woman's face, but you can't see the heart. So morning, listening.
That's right.
And remember, Trinidad and Tobago customs on point as well, because Garth, remember when we were coming back from Toronto the last time, he was bringing back some seeds, nuts.
Mm-hmm.
And it was confiscated because we didn't know that you couldn't bring nuts into the country, but I guess they considered a food that you can't travel with.
And not only that,
Nuts and seeds.
the customs lady who we met on our way out the last time when coming from Jamaica, the conversation she had with us.
Yes.
And that too was very professional.
Yeah,
we
so
didn't
it was
get her
good
name,
to see that. Yeah.
But it was good to see that interaction with her.
So at least some things are on point when it comes to airport security.
622-3937. Good morning.
Good morning to you, Gap and Natasha.
Good morning.
It's a good program that you carried on, but one of my concerns is the big fish in them. They pass it, they have money all over the world, and they living it up at the expense only the small people that get the catch. These are the areas that I have seen. If we can do a little more on the intent of the program to catch them, because is the small men they give your testimony was very good, but we have to think what it created in the future. These are the areas that I'm seeing that we need to do more on the future to catch those big fish, because they're living it up at the expense of the nation suffering.
Thank you, caller. Let me explain this to you, all right? All law enforcement in Trinidad and Tobago, you see, if you get caught here, I could say it's worse than if you get caught outside, because from outside, when you come back, you don't come back with a conviction. You will still apply for a police to be good character here and get a clean one, because the crime there doesn't follow you home.
Right.
But here, if our law enforcement here catches you at Piaco Airport with it and you do your time here, now you have a conviction over your head. And depends on the amount, you get a 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, it depends.
But you still have to account for the time that even if you were sentenced and did prison time abroad, you still have to account for the time that you were away, right?
Well, if you're filling out a job application and they ask you, well, what did you do between this time and this time, then you have to explain, right? You could choose to leave it out, say, well, I wasn't working and like that. But if you're pressed, because I know other women we interviewed, when they returned, they put what happened to them in the UK, and that caused a whole different ball game with them. So it depends on who you're speaking with. It depends on who you're working for. If you feel you need to inform them, then you do. If not, you keep it a secret until somebody reveals it for you, and then you have to defend it. You have to choose how you do it. What I'm saying, you will end up with a conviction here. Now, people who know you were in prison here it depends on who you meet, who supports you, who believes you. It depends. There's no policy for stuff like this. That, okay, you want to turn your life around, let's go this direction. Vision and mission provides that, but not everybody will end up in vision and mission.
Or even a limit on the amount of time that after you've served your sentence, that conviction remains on your record. Because I think in the UK there's a limit, either 5 or 7 years. After you have spent a certain amount of time behind bars, your conviction is automatically wiped.
No, you have to apply for a presidential pardon here.
No.
I have one. I applied for mine.
We've heard stories of people who are 20 years, 30 years out of prison, and they still cannot get a clean certificate of character.
Let's take another call. 6223937. Good morning. Deborah and Joan, folks. Deborah and Joan, two law-abiding, God-fearing citizens got caught in this. No one is safe. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, God, Natasha.
Good morning.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry. Yeah, hear me clear now?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Let me first extend my congratulations to Joan and your other guests on the program. Right? They have come through their ordeal and they have kept their heads up and doing well. I thank God for that, and I wish them success in all their future endeavors. Now, as far as the question of trafficking, this drugs, or even gun ammunition. While she may place some focus on the international scene, and it's home, right home here, Trinidad and Tobago, we see where crime, violent crime, is happening right here in our sister island, Tobago. And what is, again, our emphasis is placed on the airport and the seaport. We have to bear in mind, at least I am looking at this situation where we have an open sea, where pirogues, private vessels travel between these islands.
All right, caller. Thank you very much.
Hello?
Hello, 6223937 and 6223937. Good morning.
That and Natasha. Good morning.
Morning.
Yeah. Well, I was just saying, I see on YouTube and I play over thing on YouTube. You see, on the TV, I'm watching on TV now.
Thank you.
That what I'm calling the tele, right? It's concerning this water, right? What has happened?
No, Larry,
When
I'm
it's
sorry.
big deal, right?
No. We've dealt with that already. We explained why we brought that up. Let's move on. We're speaking about Deborah and Joan. What lesson did you learn from them? And we just about 3 minutes before the top of the hour. And once again, I would like to appeal to you, the parents. Speak to your children. See what they held in Tobago. Ecstasy pills. Because they have gone a new distance now in dispensing with drugs in Trinidad and Tobago. Young people, it is not worth it. It is not worth it. If you're not using, you're not drinking, pat yourself on the back, you belong to an elite few, and please keep it like that. Keep it clean. Make your parents proud. Make your family proud. Do not put yourself in the position where you have to beg for a blight to live for the rest of your life. Trinidad and Tobago has not reached the place yet where everybody understands there's punitive and there's restorative. Not everybody understands that. All right? And you will be treated accordingly. It depends on who you meet. Do not take that chance with your life. Do not. It is painful. It is emasculating. It is, you name it, all the pain emotionally, especially that you will experience in life. Just touch drugs and you will see. Touch it. Parents, speak to your children. Please, beg them. Hands and knees. And if you have a suspicion, just ask your child, give me some urine, please. Let me do a drug test on you. If the child gives you willingly, you know your child's safe. If they put up a fight, and, well, Mom, you don't trust me or what? And, yes, I trust you, but I still need it. Because you don't know. You see, somebody could slip them something and they don't know. There are people who got molested, raped the night before. And when they woke up the next day, they didn't remember anything that happened. They were assaulted and they can't even remember who, where, or how it happened. Some of you like to walk into a party and be carried out at the end of it.
And start drinking as soon as you reach.
Yes.
And not realizing you need to drink something soft before you fill your stomach with alcohol. You leave home on an empty stomach and then go in the party and drink.
Take
all of these things.
Your time. Please. Remember, depressants and stimulants are not a good combination. And so people will encourage you to drink Red Bull and take punching, or take ecstasy and take punching, and have your nervous system and blood pressure fighting each other. And
next thing you know, you want a viral video on TikTok or Instagram with you and your whole business in the road.
Yes, and I've seen it before. So I've seen people, a guy took a young lady's head, held her under her chin and emptied a bottle of alcohol in it. And while her mouth is open, you know, like how a mother will feed her duckling, it's pouring the alcohol in this child's throat, and everybody's standing up cheering on. A few moments later, the child on the ground defecating herself, and everybody's filming that too. And not trying to get her to the
medical
hospital to get her stomach pumped because she could have suffered alcohol poisoning.
Correct.
Come on, people. Let us be more responsible out there. And let's see how we could work together to build a better Trinidad and Tobago now. We say that every year, every independence, we say that. And let's stop it now. And Let's try and do better. Look out for our children. Don't encourage children to take drugs. You see a child coming to buy drugs, run them now. You see a child coming to buy alcohol in your shop, run them. You know, do not sell them. Please, come on, folks. Come on. Let's do better with each other. You have been listening to Dependency, Natasha.
Fix it, Jesus.
Thank you for your time this morning, folks. We hope you understand what we shared with you this morning, the act, the means, and the purpose. The act, the means was transport to the UK via plane, and for the purpose of what? Drug trafficking. And they were caught. Keep that in the front of your mind.
Fix it, Jesus. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, folks. Take care. Major news up next with Mr. Kyle Saunders.
News Center 5 at noon is brought to you by
Republic Bank. You select Republic.